Hey there, happy Monday. My name is Robin Tanner. Welcome back to the Daily Fight. This entire week, I am devoting to a pre-recorded series that I did several months ago for clients called the F-Bombs, Fudging Up Your Future Self. And it's basically wrapping around the ideas of 16 hidden secret ways that you might be sabotaging without even knowing it your future self, meaning just your thought process, your perspective on these 16 different avenues in life that might be hindering you from moving forward, from taking action, from getting off the edge of whatever it is that you're on. And I get them because I've been there, done that, got that t-shirt multiple times through all of them, and I still struggle with several of them. And we also cycle through depending on where we're at and on what stage that we're at in our fight. So you can apply these principles and these perspectives, all 16 of them, through any area of your life. Physically, it could be with your health, through the way that you are living, through your job, professionally. It could be in your relationships or socially. It could just be with your relationship with yourself and your attitudes and your ideas. So it's really designed to just help you think differently, open up some walls that you might have up to armor you from stepping forward, because you might be scared, or you might feel guilty about it, or you might feel shame wrapped around whatever it is that you want or you desire or that you want to release and let go of. So I hope this week that you tune in. I'll be breaking it up into 5 parts starting today. So just tune back every single day to catch all of the F-bombs that might be fudging up your future self. I hope you enjoy. All right, so the first one is faith. And there are 3 different levels of faith, in my opinion. There is something bigger than you, there is your faith in yourself, and there is faith in the thing that you are pursuing or that you want to overcome. Now, the first one for me is God. This is my obedience, my discipline to that higher calling. Now, whatever it might be for you, it might not be God, it might be something else, but it's your belief that there's something bigger out there than you, that this is for something more than just your little bubble world. This is that restlessness inside, that stirring, that calling, that gut instinct, that gut feeling, that gut yes or no. That's God. That's God calling you, telling you where to go. And if you don't believe in God, that is that voice inside of you. I call it your inner warrior that's telling you, this is the direction. This is the path. This is your purpose. This is where you'll come alive. This is how you'll serve others. So you've got to have faith somewhere that something is bigger than you, that this challenge, this battle that you're in, this passion that you want to pursue, this dream, these things that you have inside of you are bigger than you. And that might just mean that they're for your kids or for your grandkids and the generations to come after you. You. Like me, you might be the first in your family to be breaking some barriers in your life. That is bigger than you. This is much bigger than you. So I want you to start thinking about what your gut is saying to you. And then the second part of the faith is belief. Belief in yourself, belief that you can do it, belief that it's possible for you, not just for everybody else, that you can do this, that you'll be equipped along the way, that you're capable of handling this, that there's greatness inside of you. Faith in yourself is that you will be okay. You will be learning along the way. You will be stretched. You will be challenged along the way, and that will build future you. Yourself. And then the last one is having faith in the thing that you want to do, believing that who you want to become, the career you want to climb, that you want to pursue, that challenge that you want to overcome, whatever it might be for you, that it's possible, that it'll come true for you. That if you have that vision in your life, it doesn't just have to stay penned to a vision board or an idea in a notebook or some crazy idea in your head or in your heart that you don't want to speak out loud because it might sound silly or crazy. It's not. If it's there, let's have some faith in it. Without faith, you're going to miss out on a lot of opportunities. You're going to miss out on the meaning and the purpose in your life. Faith is a thing that's going to pull you up out of your pit. So whether it's God, whether it's faith in yourself or faith in your dream or overcoming that obstacle in your life, that's the first place you need to stop and think about what's affecting your decisions mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or physically. Your faith is bigger than your current circumstance or situation. We have to work on seeing beyond that. And faith is believing that those things that haven't come out here yet, that are still in here and here locked up, that we can uncage that part of you. that we can unleash it, and that it is your duty and responsibility to be obedient to that. The price you pay for not having faith is never taking the trip, is not buying the dream property, is not losing the 20 or the 30 or the 50 pounds, is not walking around in the body that you want or having the energy that you want or the attitude that you want. The price of not having faith is going to cost you not having that inner acknowledgement, that courage, that I matter, I make a difference, I have a gift and a purpose and a skill on this planet. And people need me. Whether it's your team at work or your kids or your spouse or your grandkids or complete strangers that are waiting for you to unleash what's inside of you. The price of not having faith is staying small, is shrinking yourself, is living stagnant or beneath the surface, continuing to fly under the radar because you think you don't matter and you do matter. But your faith muscle is weak. So that might be one of your F-bombs. Not having that muscle conditioned is gonna leave you in a state less likely to take action, to start doing, to stop doing. And that leads me to my next F-bomb, which is fear. And we're gonna go over this one really quick because here's why. Fear is you not having the answers right now when you want them. Fear is not knowing. Fear is being afraid in a moment, in an instant, in a few seconds, and then letting that control all future decisions and delays. You're denying your future self every time you let fear become an action because it's really just the feeling of you not having control. Boom. So what is it? Is it fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of abandonment, fear of not being enough, fear of being not smart enough, fear of not figuring it out, fear of looking silly? What is it? Fear of being judged, fear of being left behind, fear of leaving people behind, fear of it not working out your way on your terms, on your time. Hello? When has that ever happened? Fear is you not being in control. And let me tell you something, the minute you relinquish control, is the minute you get it back. Let me say it one more time. The minute you relinquish control, I said it right that time, is the minute you get control back over your life. Isn't that cool? So write it down right now. What is the fear that's holding you back? What is the fear that's lying to you? What is the fear that is dictating whether you do it or you don't do it? What is the fear keeping you here? What is the fear keeping you from speaking up? From fully expressing yourself? What is the fear caging your inner badass? What is the fear keeping you from your future self? What is that fear to you? It's different for all of us. And newsflash, it cycles. It cycles. It comes back again and again and again in different phases, and it shows up in different ways. It's something that you can master. It's a skill. It's a muscle that you train and you control. And here's why. Here's why we're holding on to it. Here's why fear is an F-bomb for us. Because if we knew all the answers prior, if we knew all the hard prior, if we knew all the pain and all the hurt and all the anguish and all the frustration, we wouldn't ever act. We wouldn't ever try. We wouldn't go for the job interview. We wouldn't go on the first date. We wouldn't get married. We wouldn't have children. Life is full of battles and heartache, but it's filled with so much more glory and awesomeness. But we get caught up on the 20% that is shitty. We get caught up on the 20% that is full of the icky feelings. And the icky feelings pass. But by you trying to stay in control of it, whew, I'm telling you, that's a noose you don't want around your neck or somebody else's because it disempowers them. They deserve, if you're trying to control your team or your kids or your spouse or a certain outcome, that disempowers the other side. That strips you of the journey that's meant to build your character, to advance you, to strengthen you, can condition you. Do you really want to be stripped of that? Recently, I had surgery, and if I knew everything that they were going to do on the inside of me, if I knew the whole process, every little detail, if I witnessed the surgery in advance, I wouldn't have done it. Neither would you, I'm sure. You wouldn't go through all of that. But without the surgery in our life, if we don't get to the root of it, we keep the infections, we keep the disease, we keep it contained in a bubble. But eventually, it bursts and it seeps into every other aspect of our life. And you want to go around affecting people, not infecting them. And oftentimes when we're doing personal development and we're growing and we're coaching with coaches like me that help you transform your life into the one that you want and quit doing the things that you don't want to do, surgery's got to be performed. You got to go beneath the surface. And that's scary. It's hard as shit. It's brutal. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that it's not, but it is. But there's so much freedom in you letting go of that fear. So is fear an F-bomb for you? What's it holding you back from? My favorite one, fortitude. This is your third F-bomb. Faith, fear, and now fortitude. Fortitude is you getting slapped around and getting back up. It's your ability to keep going. It's your grit. It's your ability to be relentless. Hello, that's my middle name. Fortitude is you growing a pair. It's you doing the thing, taking risks, speaking up, standing out, communicating what you need, believing in yourself. Fortitude is giving a good old hook to fear. Fortitude is you not quitting. Fortitude is you not throwing in the towel. It's going one more day. Fortitude is you experimenting, creating new pathways, having that machete mentality. That's my book, by the way. Go grab it on Amazon. But fortitude is such a huge piece of the puzzle when we're fighting for our future self. Because we're working through the faith, we're working through the fear, but you got to be able to endure. You got to be able to keep going because you're going to get slapped around. You're going to get gut punched. There's going to be fires coming at you. There's going to be external obstacles pulling you back. There's going to be internal battles going on. And you have got to woman up. You got to put on your big girl panties again and again and have fortitude that you can do it because it builds you back up every single time you get knocked down. And without having fortitude, you are missing out on the opportunity. And here is the key to fortitude. Not knowing has got to be worse than knowing. That's how you develop your fortitude, is that you will keep going. You will keep trying. You'll create new outcomes, new pathways to get to where you want to go, to arrive at wherever it is that you want to arrive, whatever you need to overcome. But not knowing, God, that's got to hurt worse than not doing it. And the only way to know is to take action, is to try, is to make attempts, is to keep showing up. And that you tap into that fortitude. Because without fortitude, you're going to miss out on everything that is waiting for you because we often quit one day too soon. When I was left for dead, it was one more doctor. After 9 doctors in 6 weeks, and I don't know how many tests, it was the one more doctor. One more radiologist, one more test. But it was me willing to fight, to never give up because I was listening to my gut. I had faith in myself that something was wrong. And you've got to listen to your body. You got to listen to your knowing inside. And then you got to stick with it. And that's fortitude. I want you to think of it like this. You probably have fortitude for your kids if you're a parent. If you're a business owner, you got fortitude for your business, for your team, for your employees. If you're in your church or your community, you got fortitude for the people that you're serving if you're doing volunteer work. Am I right? You got fortitude for your best friend. Meaning you don't give up on them. You don't quit on the people that you love, but you're quitting on yourself, which makes me question, do you love yourself? Which is a whole nother training series. But fortitude is having lion, having dog, having that mama bear inside of you for you, not just for everybody else, not for all the projects, not for all the ideas, but for you, the woman in you, the little girl in you, the inner badass in you, the warrior in you, future you. You got to have fortitude for future you, not for old you, but current you has got to keep stepping. You deserve that. You deserve to not quit on you. You deserve to not give up on you. And often we don't have fortitude because we don't have forgiveness for ourselves, with ourselves, and often with other people in our life. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that forgiveness is a gift that you give yourself. I'm going to tell you that it's a bitch, that it's hard to do, and that sometimes we think we've done it, but we haven't. I'm going to tell you that unforgiveness is you staying pissed off long after the irritation has passed. Unforgiveness is really expecting perfection in disguise. I'm going to say that one more time. I think unforgiveness is you expecting perfection, either from yourself or from others. So let's look at it this way. What are you expecting of yourself? What are you expecting of others? A robot? Never to make mistakes? Never to lash out? Never to let your emotions get the best of you? Never to fail? Never to have an oops? Never to screw up? Are you expecting robots? Are you expecting people not to be human? Not to make poor choices or make human mistakes? Where in your life are you expecting perfection? Because I think that's what forgiveness and unforgiveness is often disguised as. And we hold ourselves and other people to these standards. And this is a major F-bomb. Unforgiveness keeps you stuck here. It keeps you in your ego and your arrogance and your pride. And that's not a way that we want to be working and fighting for our future self. Forgiveness allows new perspective. It allows you to zoom in and out of life and observe from a different vantage point, from a higher level, so that you can see everything as a whole versus narrowing in on, what did I say in the last bit? The 20% that's shitty. Forgiveness is showing compassion. It's showing grace. It's a teaching tool for you and for others. I think the most important place to forgive is with yourself. It's allowing yourself to have wiggle room and effort space in your mind and in your heart and in your soul and on your calendar for the times that you mess up, for the times that you fall short. Recently, my ex-husband made a huge F up with our kids' insurance. And we got this monumental bill. And there was nothing that we could do about it. And it was his mistake. And my initial old self was mad and angry and wanted to hold a grudge. And this was his fault and his now responsibility. But future me was like, nah, we're in a good place. We're co-parenting well. Things are great. We're communicating well. Things are thriving. We're a team for our kids. And instead of holding a grudge, when he came to me and owned his mistake, I offered him backup. I offered him grace. I offered him forgiveness instead of holding on to how could he? Why didn't he think of this? Because it easily could have been me. So when you're holding grudges and unforgiveness in your heart for others and even for yourself, it could easily have been you making that decision or that choice or that mistake or falling into that temptation. And that's the easiest way and the simplest way to take a step back, zoom out, and put yourself in a position of, oh yeah, shit, I could have done that. That could have been me on the other end. How would I want somebody to deal with me, to forgive me, to give me grace? And so often when we're dealing with our future self, we're not moving forward because we've already tried this in the past. We think we did, but we didn't have fortitude because we gave up too soon. Or we've got a bunch of unfinished projects and a bunch of things that are undone. Or we just keep repeating the same thing because it's safe and familiar and complacent and it's worked in the past and we think that it's going to work in the future, yet we're not getting off the wheel and we keep spinning. So why even try? What's the point? And what really you're holding on to is this level of perfection that doesn't exist because you are human. You'll make human mistakes and have human feelings and human emotions. But that expectation will have you holding a grudge against your old self, your current self, and even your future self. Why aren't I there yet? I should be further along. I shouldn't be in this gap. I'm smarter than this. And if you're projecting that out to other people, the easiest way to go is, could I have made this mistake? Would I want forgiveness? Would I want compassion? Would I want grace? And those are the same questions that you need to ask yourself and have with yourself. If the forgiveness F-bomb is one that is mastering you, that is got its claws in you. To wrap it up, I want you to weigh the cost of not having faith in your life, of letting fear dictate and control you, even though it's not an action, of not having fortitude. What is the price you're paying because you don't have fortitude in your life? Because you keep quitting, you're inconsistent, you're not persisting through. These are all tied together. And what is unforgiveness costing you? And what gifts are waiting for you when you start to build the faith muscle and you start to conquer the fears, right? You start to relinquish the control and you surrender that. That gives you your inner power back. That wakes that warrior inside to have fortitude, to keep fighting. I hope one of these four resonated with you today. Faith, fear, fortitude, and forgiveness. Now I'm dropping you a one-page worksheet. Don't try to figure these answers out in your head. You can't work it out in your head. You've got to write it down. You got to journal. You got to spend some time. So take some time right now. Another 10 minutes. You deserve this. This is a workout. This is your inner fitness. This is a workout for your brain. It's a workout for your mind, for your heart, for your goal, for your faith, for your fear, for that forgiveness that your future self so desperately wants and needs and deserves. If you want to build these muscles, answer these questions. Take time. Sit on them. And tomorrow I'm going to drop 4 more F-bombs. Keep this appointment with yourself. Keep this training. It's continuous conditioning. And the more you do it, That physical self, the things that you want, the body you want, the health you want, the life you want, all of the things, the house, the career, the bank account, the attitude, the energy, all of those things, they will come to fruition. They will come to life. They will manifest. You will make them happen. You will create them when you do the inner fitness. Thanks for joining me today on Master Your F-Bombs Set 1. Come back tomorrow. I'll be sending it right into your inbox. Drop me an email. Let me know which ones resonated with you. Do your inner fitness. You got this. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.